Hello, good morning, children. Today I'm going to teach you about your next portion some important question from your jurisdiction chapter. Yesterday we talked about the major points of this chapter, that is judiciary. The major points were rule of law, organization of judiciary, functions of judiciary, ad hoc judges, Supreme Court judges, integrated judiciary, terms, appointment of judges, salary, like that. And today I'm tell you about some important. So I'm going to teach you about your this question answers important. First question is you have to state the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो ओरिजिनल जुरिडिक्शन होता है कि मीन से व्हाट इज़ द फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस वर्क ऑफ दिस सुप्रीम कोर्ट. Cases related to the following matters are directly related to the Supreme Court. First point is disputes between the union and or the union territory regarding the division of powers and their institutional disputes. That is there, that is taken by judiciary, by Supreme Court. That is also taken by Supreme Court. Disputes between states, cases related to the fundamental rights. फंडामेंटल राइट्स से रिलेटेड जो केसेस होते हैं वो भी डायरेक्ट हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. केसेस इन्वॉल्विंग अ पॉइंट ऑफ लॉ, दैट इज़ वेयर इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज़ इन्वॉल्व. मीन टू से कोई भी इस टाइप का केस होता है वेयर citizens or dispute is related regarding interpretation of the law. Mean to say there is some misconfusion about that. That is also there. Confusion regarding that is also there. Case involving a point of law when interpretation of the constitution is involved. So mention and after that mention the various rates which the Supreme Court can issue for the enforcement of fundamental rights. So these are the special rates that we can claim against our fundamental rights in the Supreme Court directly. जब भी हमें कभी लगता है कि हमारे किसी तरह के फंडामेंटल राइट्स एक्सप्लॉइट हो रहे हैं, हम उनको वापस लेने के लिए ये इस टाइप की रेट्स जो हैं वो लगा सकते हैं. द रिट ऑफ हेबियस कॉर्पस, द रिट ऑफ मंडामस, the writ of currento, the writ of prohibition, the writ of certiorari. So these are the 5 type of writs. When our fundamental rights are being exploited, we can implement, we can ask the court under the shadow of these writs, the writ of habeas corpus, the writ of mandamus, the writ of currento, the writ of prohibition, the writ of certiorari. Like that, these are the some rates. What steps have been taken to make independent judiciary in India? तो इंडिया की जुडिशरी को इंडिपेंडेंट बनाने के लिए what has been done in India? The very important, the method of the appointment of the judges and ad hoc judge and other advocates is very important, that they are only based upon their qualification standard they are able to be the judge or lawyer of that Supreme Court. It is selective rather than elective. It is a very important step has been taken, and that is to make it more democratic and more independent. To make judiciary more democratic and more independent, this step has been taken, and it is very important. Then we talk about why do we need independent judiciary? Because judiciary is the supreme law interpretation, supreme rule of law. Without judiciary we cannot no one there is authority to interpret the constitution. The independence of judiciary is very very essential to maintain the impartiality of the judges. The judges can perform their duties fearlessly only on the atmosphere of independence. They should be away from any type of political pressure. Only independent judiciary can provide fair and speedy justice. It is an independent judiciary alone which can secure the fundamental rights of the citizens granted by the Constitution. Independent judiciary can give the free and fair and somewhat rapidly granted decisions for the citizens, which alone can secure the fundamental rights of the citizen granted by the Constitution. And we have read about the writs also that can be implemented in the Supreme Court only for the human rights. And next question is, in the federation, judiciary is assigned with much more important role. Why? In a federation, there is a division of power between center and the state. In case of conflict between center and the states, judiciary act as arbitrator. The judiciary decides cases between center and one or more states, between two or more states. So all these are the functions very very important in a federation. Federation, we know that there are different states having their different powers. And whenever we talk about this Supreme Court as the guardian of the Constitution, like students have their parents as guardian for any type of problem, they are there. Moreover, students parents as well as their teachers working as guardian. In the same way, Supreme Court is working as the guardian of the Constitution. Supreme Court is the final interpreter and protector of the Constitution. It is the responsibility of Supreme Court to uphold the supremacy of the Constitution. The Supreme Court has been given the power of judicial review. The Supreme Court can declare any law or executive order unconstitutional if it is contrary to the provision of the Constitution. In this case, the Supreme Court is the guardian of the Constitution. Means if any type of law is made that is not up to the mark, that is not appropriate according to the Constitution interpretation in the constitutional framework, the judiciary has this right to dismiss that law. In this way, we can say that judiciary's major functions, whatsoever decision of disputes, interpretation of the laws, integrated judiciary, right? So all these are many are different way. Judiciary plays very very important role at different levels. As we know that we have the different three levels of the judiciary. In exactly same way we have different levels of the government. Accordingly, it is there. The Supreme Court plays very very important role, and it is free and independent. Its judges really impossible to be removed from there. So I have told you about the salaries of the these judges and advocates, their tenure, retirement age, composition, functions of the judiciary, meaning of rule and law, jurisdiction and function, that is also classified into different categories. So hopefully you have understood, dear students. You have to read about these writs, why this writ is implemented, how it is, and what is the meaning of different type of writs accordingly. Then you have to prepare notes regarding these all the headings. Guardian, Supreme Court is the guardian of the Constitution. Federation, judiciary is assigned with more important role, and what is the independent judiciary. All these things are very very important. So hopefully, dear student, you have understood this, and try to read it yourself also. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye, students.